Hi friends, this is Miss Tara from the Community Library, and in honor of Earth Day today, I wanted to share with you a reading of The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. And even though it was written all the way back in 1971, it's very appropriate still and resonates with so much that's happening to our climate and to the Earth today. And it's almost like, if you know what the word foreshadowing means, like for something that Dr. Seuss almost was foreshadowing what was going to happen in the years to come if we didn't treat our earth with care. And that's so this book is a little long, but I felt like I didn't want to let Earth Day just go by. I would be sharing it with you in the library. I always try to read this book around Earth Day every year. So here is a reading of The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town, where the griggle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. See? It almost looks like the rainforest does now. They chop down all those trees, and there's nothing left. And deep in the griggle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. You see the Lorax, where it could be? What was the Lorax, and why was it there, and why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town, where the griggle grass grows, the old Onceler still lives here. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the Onceler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurk-room on top of his store. He lurks in his lurk-room, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of myth-muffled moof. And on special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks, and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather's snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snubby, his secret strange hole in his groovyless glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper my phone, and the secrets I tell are for your ears alone. Slip! Down slops a whisper my phone to your ear, and the old Onceler's whispers are not very clear, since I have to come down through a snuggly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long time back. And look at the pretty colors now. I turn the page. All the way back in time before the Lorax got taken away. Way back in the days when the grass was still green and the pond was still wet and the clouds were still clean and the song of the summer swans rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, the Tarufala trees. These are the Tarufala trees. The bright-colored tufts of the Tarufala trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and ate Tarufala fruits. From the Tarufala's pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. Again, these are the Tarufala trees. But those Tarufala trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a Tarufala tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a tenede. The instant I'd finished, I'd heard a gazump I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. How would you describe him? He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed, What's that thing you've made out of my teruffala tuft? Right there. What is that thing? I had to chop a tree down for. Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I am doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a Tanid. A Tanids find something that all people need. It's a shirt. It's a sock. It's a glove. It's a hat. But it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers for bicycle seats. The Lorax said, Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that fool Tanid. But the very next minute I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute a chap came along, and he thought that the Tanid I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy, you never can tell what some people will buy. There he goes, off with the Tanid he paid $3.98 for. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. Oh, not nice. I rushed across the room, and in no time at all built a radio phone. I put it in a quick call. I called on my brothers and uncles and aunts, and I said, Listen here. Here's a wonderful chance for the whole Once-Orler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to North Nitch. Turn left at Wild Chicken, sharp right at South Stitch. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Once-Orler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting to need, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of teruffala trees. Okay, those are the chopped trees. And there they go, off to the factory to make those to need things. There's a factory that his family made. This is how it started to get that land emptied of trees. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which racked off 4 teruffala trees at one smacker. We were making Tanids 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown babaloots who played in the shade in their babaloo suits and happily lived eating teruffala fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough teruffala fruit to go round, and my poor babaloots are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Once-Orler, felt sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm. I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered my loads. Of the Tanids I shipped out, I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more Tanids, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance Lorax came back with some more gripes. I am the Lorax, he coughed, And he whipped, he sneezed, "Achoo!" and he snuffled, he snargled, he sniffed. "Onceler!" he cried with a crawfulous croak. "Onceler! You're making such smogglous smoke! My poor Onceler Swami swans, why they can't sing a note! No one can sing who has smog in his throat!" "And so," said the Lorax, "please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you've smogged up around here. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary, in search of some water that isn't so smeary." Oh, look at that. More. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax. "Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap yap and say, 'Bad, bad, bad.' Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you I intend to go doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm biggering on biggering, and biggering, and biggering, and biggering, turning more Telephala trees into needs which everyone needs." And at that very moment we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last Telephala tree of them all. No more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. So in no time my uncles and aunts every one all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggered stars. Now all that was left 'neath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad, sad backward glance, as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants, and I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and he took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a very small pile of rocks with the one word, "unless." Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago, but each day since that day I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. "But now," says the Onceler, "now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So, catch," calls the Onceler. He lets something fall. It's a Telephala seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the Telephala seeds. And Telephala trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new Telephala, treat it with care. Give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back." Okay, so this is such a great book, especially to spark a discussion about the earth and how to treat it with care and the beauty of the earth and the trees and how we need trees to live and breathe. And so I wanted to share it with you. Hopefully it sparks a conversation in your house. And I enjoyed reading it. And I hope to see you guys really soon at the library. Bye-bye. Happy Earth Day.